Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nyasha Tondi and it's another sit-down video today. No vlog. If you remember the poll that I put out, I think 2 weeks ago, I asked if you guys preferred, no, I asked you guys to guess what I prefer to edit and what I prefer to shoot. A lot of you guys actually said vlogs, and while that may be true, I actually do enjoy shooting sit-down content here and there. Not really my thing like that anymore, but why not? Today, or lately rather, I've just been feeling, I don't know if you've ever like experienced that feeling of like just perceiving or feeling like you're not where you want to be in life. I have had moments like that. I know people close to me who have been in scenarios like that lately. I know friends who are experiencing this, and I know when this happens, it often just lingers and it just stays there at the back of your head. And little do you know, it actually controls some of the decisions you make in the interim. It affects how you see things, it affects how you respond to the things that happen around you, and it affects so many things. So I thought, okay, why don't we talk about this, you know, like let's just have a chit chat. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about feeling like you're not where you want to be. While this may be true for a lot of people, I mean, I think it's something very relatable. A lot of us feel like we're not where we actually want to be, and some people do feel like they're exactly where they want to be and life could be more perfect. And if that's you right now, I am so happy for you. But I think that's the thing, we more often than not just feel like we're just not where we want to be, even if we're doing really great. Like, I'd like to believe if you're watching this video, then you are at least living out one of your major prayers that you've made in the past 5 to 10 years. And when our prayers are answered, we tend to forget that, oh my gosh, I prayed for this and it's actually happening now. We forget that because we're just human beings who are in constant search of the next best thing. So even when like amazing things are happening around us and like we're living out our best prayers, we're living out our most biggest prayer points, we tend to feel like things could be better. We tend to feel like, oh my gosh, things could still be slightly better though. And then we get caught up in living in the future that we forget to live in today. And especially in today's age where we have social media, it cannot be easy. It's just not something easy to do, to just be happy where you are and not think of, oh, after this I want to do this. So the first thing is be patient with yourself, okay? If you feel like you're not where you want to be, that's okay. It happens to the best of us. It happens to most of us. And that's a normal thing. The Kaizen approach, there's a Japanese concept of continuous improvement, which is termed the Kaizen approach. The Kaizen approach basically says, you know, like you need to strive to make continuous improvements to everything that you're doing. So naturally, it is normal that you will feel like progressing and doing better than you are today, tomorrow. If you have read the book Atomic Habits, then you understand the concept of making small changes and that they bring about really big changes. That's it. Be patient with yourself. You're not going to wake up and be the millionaire you want to be. You're not going to suddenly wake up and everything is built and all the groundwork has been done, all the building has been done, and now you're just simply enjoying life. You actually have to go through the mundane steps of building whatever dream you have. And that's not something we really like to hear, because most times when we look at the people who have gone before us and are sort of leaving the dreams that we want or the dreams that we have, we tend to feel like they just achieved it overnight. And most of us want to have things that people in their 40s or 30s or 50s are enjoying. We're also like in our mid-20s or like late 20s, and that's just, it's unrealistic. Having such an expectation on yourself takes away the whole point of being patient with yourself. I'm probably going to need to come back and listen to this video when I'm done with this, because I am preaching to myself right now. You need to be patient with yourself. You're gonna get there. Eventually you will. I mean, honestly, if you're working towards it, you will get there. You can't want to just skip to the good part. Sadly, we can't just skip to the good part. with this life thing. The second thing is that Rome was not built in a day. This is so linked to the first point, but this is more of things take time, you know? Be patient with yourself, because things actually do take time. Like, life is super slow, and most times life is slower than we want it to be, because we just want to skip through all these mundane and boring things and skip to the good part. Sadly, like I said already, things don't happen like that in this world we live in, and most times you really can't do anything to speed the process up. You really cannot do anything to shake things up and get things rolling quicker than they are going at, than the rate at which things are going. Sadly, you cannot determine or like control every single thing, and that's why there's the things that you can control, and then there's things that you cannot control, and the things that you cannot control simply cannot be controlled by you. You can do your work, you can write an invoice to a client, but whether or not the client will pay or pay on time, that's essentially up to them. You cannot control that. You can only do your best to like curb the effects, but you cannot ultimately control things that are not within your power. These things are things that sadly, more often than not, affect how we live, and they affect where we are and where we want to go, and that can be so frustrating. So I just want you to know that you can only try your best, but then ultimately things just take time, okay? Things take time, and that's just the way life is. The third thing is your dreams are valid. Your dreams are valid. I'm just gonna share something that my husband says to me all the time. He always reminds me that my dreams are valid, and I'm just here today to remind you of the same thing. Your dreams are valid. I don't want you to ever go for a day in your life thinking the things that you want are too big to attain, that the things you wish to have, the things you wish to accomplish are impossible, or that you can never achieve those things, because you truly can, and you truly will. It's just be patient with yourself, because things take time. But will you achieve these things? Will you get to the spot you want to get to? Definitely, of course you will. You'll be fine, okay? Don't be afraid to dream big. I think it's saying Therese after Sue, who says, we pay God a really great compliment by asking big things of him. Don't be afraid to dream. Don't be afraid to shoot for the stars. Just shoot for the stars, because if you don't get to the stars, you'll be somewhere up there. You have absolutely no idea what you're capable of doing until you start smashing those goals. Until you start smashing those goals and things are going your way. So don't compare yourself to other people in an unhealthy way. Looking at someone else's life and saying, oh my gosh, look at them, look at what they're achieving, and look at what I'm doing. That's not right, you know? Like, you get to look what your peers are doing, you get to look what your friends are doing, and you get to draw inspiration from that. If they're doing better than you, then you get to draw inspiration, and it's just drawing inspiration. If however you are in a situation where you're simply just looking at the next person, looking at your former schoolmates, looking at your peers, looking at your age mates and stuff like that, and thinking, oh my gosh, they have such a better life than I do. That is comparison, and that is unhealthy. And comparing yourself is just not going to work. It won't get you anywhere. It will put you down. It will take away your self-esteem. It will ruin your plans. It will ruin how you assess yourself. And honestly, comparison is just the thief of joy. There is no person ever recorded under the sun that has said comparison is good, because all it ever does is just take away your joy. It takes away how you feel. It takes away how you see things. It takes away your positivity. I don't know, like, have you ever been having a really, really good day, and then you're having a good day, you're counting your blessings, you're like, I'm really smashing my goals, I'm doing really well, and then you go onto Instagram and suddenly, or you go onto LinkedIn and suddenly everyone is just doing way better than you, and you start to feel like you're not doing anything. If that has happened to you, then the lesson to be learned is that every person has their own life to live, and you cannot live like the other person, because you are running your own race. By virtue of the fact that you're running your own race, you cannot do things the same way that the other person does things, because your destination's not the same. Even for twins, your destinations are not the same, and because they're not the same, you can't expect your processes to be the same. And ultimately, comparing yourself just takes you off the path that you're on and the progress that you're making. It dims the progress that you're making so much that you feel like all the progress you're making is actually not that big, when in actual fact it is. So quit comparing yourself to people. Don't look at people's lives and compare yourself. Besides, you don't even know half the story. Count your blessings. You know, I remember at one point in my life I had a prayer journal, which I used to prayer journal a lot. I don't know what happened. I just don't prayer journal as much anymore. But well, sometimes I do, but rarely. I don't do it as much as I used to diligently do it. But when I did at that like point in my life, in those like couple of years, I had like a part where I wrote down 5 blessings of the day. This definitely helped me count my blessings to see just how blessed I am, just how blessed I am. And I think the biggest takeaway was that I never really struggled with feeling like I wasn't living the life that I wanted. I never felt for a moment that I had a life that I didn't want to have. But it was in those moments where I just stopped counting my blessings that I would feel like, I really don't have the life that I want, which is not always the case, you know? It's a feeling you have, which perhaps could be coming from ingratitude. So yeah, count your blessings. Have like days where you just sit down and count your blessings. When you begin prayer, count your blessings as well. During the day, count the beautiful things that are happening to you. Count all the positive, amazing things that are happening in your life that really, if they weren't there, life would be so much harder for you. But then you have these things. God has allowed you to be blessed with these things. So yeah, you really are a blessed person if you have the blessings that you have and you focus on counting those instead of comparing yourself to someone else and wishing you had a different life. Get it? Get it? Your plan and God's plan might be different. And different isn't always bad. Different isn't always, oh my gosh, it's different, so it's bad. Different is not always, oh my gosh, I hate different. Different is not a terrible thing. Different is not something to be scared of. You can get a little anxious, obviously, if things are going to be a little different than you had imagined them to be. But you can't want for yourself something that will be better than what God wants for you. You cannot want for yourself something better than what the Lord wills for you. You cannot have a dream that is better for you than the dream and the plans that God has for you, because essentially God has made you, so He knows what you need, He knows what you want, and what will ultimately fulfill your happiness and give your heart the happiness you desire. There is no way that you can know what the artist wants better than what the artist actually wants, and in this case God is the artist. So if the plan turns out to be different, as it almost always does, your plan and God's plan are 2 different things. And your plan, I think you've seen those memes where they have like your plan versus God's plan, and we look at the big painting, we're like, oh my gosh, this is so much more beautiful, but you have no idea just how much anxiety, just how much of tears, just how many sad moments or confusion was actually like embedded in that painting coming to life. We tend to think, oh my gosh, this painting is so much more beautiful, it's so much more better. But what we tend to forget, or what we don't tend to think of, is just that that painting was much more complicated to paint. It was much more complicated to bring to life. It was probably more time sensitive, and it probably took so much more time. There was just so many things that probably affected the outcome of that painting. And in the same way, like, your plan probably has less moving parts, so it's more straightforward, looks exciting, and you believe it's exactly what you want. God's plan, on the other hand, might be quite the long game. It might be quite a rocky, bumpy, adventurous and fun-filled road full of tears of joy. Sometimes it has happy tears, sometimes it has sad tears, sometimes you simply don't understand where things are going. But ultimately, the painting that God produces, the plan that God has for you, is so much better. Even if you don't understand it in the interim, it's so much more better than the plan that you might have for yourself. So I hope that really helps you find courage in the fact that God's plan is 10 times more better than yours, even if it doesn't look like that right now. Point number 7, work towards the life you want. The life you want is possible because your dreams are valid, because God's plan is good. And even if your plan doesn't actually work out the way you want it to work, and God's plan is the one that works out, you still need to work. At one point or another, you will need to work. So I hope that you never get tired of putting in the work that you need to put in for you to realize your dreams, for you to achieve your goals, for you to smash those goals, you know. I hope you never get tired of working and putting energy and investing effort and putting in all the work you need to put in for the things that you want to come to pass. My last point is feed on the positive. Like, feed on the positivity around you. Don't feed your brain, your mind, your heart with the negative things. Don't feed your heart with, oh my gosh, I'm not where I want to be. Feed your heart with, oh my gosh, wow, I'm on the way to the life I wanted, the life I want for myself. But in the meantime, even right here, I am really experiencing all the blessings I have been praying for, all the blessings that are linked to my dream, all the blessings that are linked to the hopes and goals that I have set up for myself, all the blessings that are linked to the life I want to have. Because essentially you are on a journey, and that journey has so many beautiful things. Even when you're traveling to like a place by road or flying to a place, you see so many beautiful things. Is the destination? No, it's not. But is it beautiful? Definitely it is beautiful. So I just hope that you never forget to feed your mind with positivity, feed your mind with God's word, feed your mind with positive promises from the Lord, feed yourself with the company of people who actually motivate you to feel like you're doing well. Don't surround yourself with people who make you feel like you're not doing anything. If there is a person, or if there's friends whom you feel tend to drain your energy and make you feel like you're not doing enough, then just don't hang out with them as much. Feast on the positive things and just work towards what you're working towards, and eventually things will be fine. You will be okay. You definitely will be okay. We'll all be okay. I'm making this video for myself too, because I also need to come back and like listen to this and watch it. So yep, you will be okay. I will be okay. We will all be okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know if you guys like, I don't know. So I had an idea. I wanted to start a what if you are going through Get series yesterday, Monday. But I'm just feeling so drained and so tired. So I don't know. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you got to the end of the video, you clearly like me that much. So give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Share with a friend. Because more than we actually tend to believe or want to admit, a lot of us actually do feel like we're not where we want to be. So I hope that helps. Bye!